What's up? What's up? You're listening to another episode of the Represent Show. I have with me just my co-host Nangthe, and tonight what we're going to talk about. It's June, and it's 2018. You know what that is?
World Cup.
The World Cup. Everybody's favorite sport, the one we've all been looking for. So today we're just going to give our 2 cents about the teams in the World Cup. We're just going to talk about the group stage. And possibly in the next episode, we're going to delve into the round of 16 and into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and also the big question, who's going to win the World Cup, possibly in the next episode. But for just this episode, we're going to talk about the group stages, who are in the teams, the players to look out for, and which teams to progress. So yeah, right off the bat, what do you think of this World Cup? I mean, the thoughts going into this World Cup. Being in Russia and all that.
Come on, England. That's my first reaction to any World Cup. But then,
we all know England.
And as we see, as we progress through the group stage, England always disappoint. But yeah, there are a couple of teams that I really look forward. That really can spring a surprise, especially with the African teams looking really solid. You have the South Americans here. And maybe a few surprises from, Asia, hopefully. But then I don't.
South Korea back in 2002 when we went all up to the semifinals. So
beating Italy, what a controversial game that was. But yeah, our hopes are riding with.
You can never write off any teams, can't you, in the World Cup?
Exactly. That's why we should always. The predictions, it's always a dangerous game predicting these things, but we'll try our best anyways, yeah.
So anyway, without further ado, let's straight off the bat, let's just start off onto Group A. So we have Group A, Egypt, the people's team, so to call it. Mo Salah, he was a bit of a doubt after the Champions League final, but he has been confirmed that he would be playing in the tournament.
Yeah, the Pharaohs. They look solid, the Pharaohs, all throughout qualification, and with their talisman Mo Salah, the PFA Player of the Year, the Players Player of the Year. Well, he could maybe carry this team forward in past the group stages.
So it's still early days, to say anything, but lots of people have been saying the World Cup might be a big stage for him. Premier League, he's been doing exceptionally well for Liverpool. 31 goals in the Premier League, which is a new record. And do you think lots of people are criticizing him, saying like maybe he's a one season wonder, but do you think the World Cup would be a stage for him to maybe prove these doubters wrong?
I don't think regardless what happens in this World Cup, I think Mo Salah, his credentials, what he did for Liverpool this season speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I know there are doubters saying that he's a one season wonder, so to say, but we should that remains to be seen with Liverpool next season with the Liverpool edition of Fabinho and Abiketa.
Yeah.
I think Mo Salah is going to get even stronger next season.
So joining Egypt into this group is the host Russia and Saudi Arabia. Russia, they don't look really up to stretch in this World Cup, aren't they? Given the fact if they're not the host of this World Cup, possibly you might just write them off their chances being in the World Cup in itself. Do you think they might progress to the knockout stage, the host?
I think Russia, they aren't the favorites to qualify from the group. I think Russia, the best years of Russia has surpassed them. If you remember that World Cup where they went in with Pavlyuchenko, Arshavin, leading the team. Yeah, I think that was the pinnacle of their, so to say, the 21st century team. But I don't think in this edition they'll be really, really lucky to qualify. Given it's in the home turf, maybe they could spring a surprise result here and there. Yeah. But then I think apart from Saudi Arabia, Russia,
interesting fact for you. Every host nation has progressed to the round of 16 World Cup only for South Africa in 2010. Yeah. So there's that bit of trickery there. Every host nation always has that home advantage. They always progress beyond the group stage. But let's see what's happened here. It's going to be tight for Russia as well. Saudi Arabia, they're just the wild horse for this group. Really, you won't expect much to to make any leeway into this group. And Uruguay, I mean,
Uruguay.
you really tipped them off to be doing well this
the
World
dark
Cup.
horse. I call them the dark horse of this tournament. If you look at them, they did in the last edition. I don't remember, but then in 2010 they did really well.
Yeah, everybody remembers Uruguay in 2010. That Uruguay being Luis Suarez being the villain in that Ghana game. Well, major scenes that was.
In 2014, I don't quite remember Uruguay, but I don't think they really shine as well as they did in 2010. But then in this World Cup, I feel that the team is coming together really well.
Yeah.
The players have gelled really well. They've allowed themselves to mature, to rebuild, and there are quite a few exciting players out there. And with the strike force of Edison Cavani and Suarez combining, that's
and even a defensive partnership of
Atletico Madrid's
Jose Jimenez and
Diego Godin.
Diego Godin. I mean, they have that Atletico combination, which might work for them.
I predicted Uruguay to go really far in this World Cup, so dare to say till the quarterfinals, but that remains to be seen. That's my prediction.
All right, so final say, who's going to go through from Group A?
It's going to be tight.
Going from 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think Uruguay is going to win the group, followed narrowly by Egypt.
Followed narrowly by Egypt.
Yeah.
All right.
And third Russia, fourth Saudi Arabia.
So
that's our prediction.
Yeah, so we're not really tipping the host to be going through from the group stage. All right, so that is Group A for you. And moving on now, we have Group B, Portugal and Spain. Really, that's the only topic of conversation we're going to talk about. So, okay, Portugal, winners of Euro 2016. What about 2018?
The luckiest team to ever really
keep in mind that 2016 Portugal drew all three of their. I mean, they drew 3 games. And they made it to the knockout stage, and by all odds they won the tournament.
but they didn't really excite us even after winning the cup. They weren't a team that excited us. They were really lucky in that tournament, and the Ronaldo factor maybe it might come into question in this tournament. But I feel like this entire squad, they're an aging squad, and I feel that teams will pay them off eventually in the later rounds.
I mean, let's look at the Portugal squad, shall we? Okay, we have Ricardo Quaresma. I mean, we all have that joke, right? Oh, Portugal, they have the same team from Euro 2008,
exactly.
like with the likes of Luis Nani and João Moutinho. But
given that new players have come in like Bernardo Silva, Adrian Silva, the Silvas. But then the core of that team, basically, it's the same since 2008. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean with the defense? So they have the likes of Pepe and Jose Font and Bruno Alves. Bruno
Alves made it. I'm quite surprised at that. But then, like, who will they choose really? Like, they don't really have outstanding defenders. I mean, like, world class defenders apart from these 3. Well, Pepe has had a really topsy-turvy season with Besiktas. He looked really rusty in the final thirds of the season. Jose Font, he's another one.
He was injured for Southampton also.
Exactly, he was injured. Age there obviously playing a factor. And Bruno Alves, is he at Zenit St. Petersburg?
Bruno Alves, he moved on to Rangers now.
Oh, Glasgow.
Glasgow. It's going to be managed by Steven Gerrard.
I don't think that defense is gonna hold. I mean, given that it's a tournament, it's not a long tournament. I mean, it is a tournament format.
Yeah.
Maybe if they sit deep, play really a really deep defensive line, maybe their legs won't come into question so much. But then if you look at the other part, they have a lot of experience there in that back line. But then I feel that most teams they're just electric, and they're gonna pick that defense off.
Cristiano Ronaldo, you think he might be that catalyst for the team, or he might just fizzle out into big games? He just always, when he doesn't deliver, question marks always raised. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting point you make. Cristiano, he's been carrying this team for the better part of 5 to 6 years now, since Luis Figo and the likes of Nuno Gomes and all. But Cristiano, even though if he doesn't have a good game, I feel that just his presence in that dressing room, his experience, his that it factor that he has, he really carries this team, like just not physically but then psychologically. Yeah, so the Ronaldo factor will play a part, I think, but then in the later rounds, with the quality of the teams will definitely show.
Yeah. Okay. Just quickly, let's move on to Iran. I mean, they have the
Yes.
coach Carlos,
Queiroz.
ex-Portugal coach Carlos Queiroz. It'll be interesting. I mean, we won't talk much about Iran, but it'll be interesting, the games between Portugal and Iran there. I mean, that little chemistry between them. Okay, so let's move on to the next heavyweight of the team, that is Spain. Spain, I mean, other than their success, I mean, their major success, winning back-to-back Euros and the World Cup in the middle, has they been also a team that's been quite in their pinnacle, or what do you say, in their zenith of the performance? Or what do you make of Spain?
Well, looking at their last World Cup, they went out in the group stages. You know,
Yeah.
didn't really play well. I feel Spain is a team that starts really slow. They don't really know like their best 11.
Yeah.
They experimented with Isco up front, and they have so many versatility in that team where it becomes hard for the coach to really know his best 11. But then I feel that looking at the group, like they don't, apart from Portugal, like Morocco and Iran, they don't really pose a threat. So I feel that they're gonna go through, and I feel that Spain is one of the 5 favorite teams, and I feel like this is the year that they've really matured, really gelled, and all the players, look at Ramos and Isco, they're all winners. They've shown that they can do it on the big stage, and yeah, I feel that Spain, they're really they're my so to say, my second favorite team to lift the World Cup.
I mean, Diego Costa. I mean, talking about their striking options, Diego Costa is there. I mean, you talk about the versatility of players. I mean, Spain have always adopted that the false number 9 style of play. And do you think Diego Costa would be a good fit for maybe if they adopt that style of play?
I don't really feel that Diego Costa fits into this team. I feel Iago Aspas may be the better option of the two.
Yeah.
Just look out for this, in the games. I think Iago Aspas might surprise you. He might really break into the first team.
So they have Iago Aspas, as well as Lucas Vazquez, one of the striking options.
Lucas Vazquez is quite a winger, but he can't play the forward role, no doubt. But then I feel that Iago Aspas might be the man to do the job for them up front. But yeah, Costa, he can always, it's just his presence there. He can create chances.
Always a maverick.
Always a threat.
All right, so I guess no competition there. Spain and Portugal.
No competition. Morocco, they feel a good side. I mean, they're not. I don't know where they qualified from the African qualifiers. Where did I think they finished top of the group or something.
I'm not really sure about the qualification, but
No. But yeah, they feel it a good side with Mehdi Benatia and what's his name? I forgot.
Mustafa.
Yeah, Mustafa. They got a good squad, but then I feel like
it'll be too much for them.
Yeah. So.
All right, Spain or Portugal to top the group?
Spain. Most definitely. Right. And I think Portugal, they're gonna struggle against Morocco. I'm not. It's not a given that Portugal are gonna go through. I think they're gonna draw them games and just pick up a point against Spain maybe if they could in the first game. Yeah, Portugal are gonna stumble their way through into the knockout stages.
All right, so that's Group B for you. Really, no competition there for Spain or Portugal. I mean, a little bit of a doubt for Portugal given their 2016 Euros, how they went about their group stages, but yeah. All right, so let's move on to Group C now, where we have Australia, Socceroos, and along with Denmark, and France and Peru. All right, this group, France, I mean, tipped as strong favorites, and they played against Italy yesterday, where they convincingly won 3-1. Well, what do you think of France?
Well, again, the first initial thought of France were so many players were left out. I thought maybe Karim Benzema or maybe Anthony Martial would get into the squad, but then surprises there. Like the manager Didier Deschamps, he went with the trusted Giroud,
sexy Giroud,
and with a lot of youth, especially in the defense. the likes of
I
Laporte.
mean, he has some. I mean, he's really spoiled for choice, isn't he? I mean, who would he choose? Who would he play?
The amount of talent that this generation of French players are coming through it's really astounding, you know.
I mean, I think it's both a blessing as well as
As a
curse.
curse, yeah.
Right? I mean, the talent that prevails in the French squad. But okay, okay, Paul Pogba. I mean, he's obviously touted. I mean, he's had a really bit of a torrent season for Man United.
Yeah, I feel that Pogba plays well in a three midfield, you know. But then I think France they're gonna go with two holding midfielders.
Yeah.
And maybe with two strikers, but then you never know with Didier Deschamps. He changes his system quite a lot. I don't think he's. You look at Joachim Löw, you know, he knows what he wants from his players. He knows his system. Like players have to adapt the system, but then Didier Deschamps, I feel that he doesn't have that command in the dressing room that. You know, okay, like he's gonna drop some players and tell them exactly why. I feel that he doesn't really know his best 11, so to say. Maybe
perhaps.
Yeah. But then they've got a lot of talent there to see this group through, and I feel that with the front line, especially of Ousmane Dembele, Antoine Griezmann, and Kylian Mbappe, they're gonna be you know buzzing throughout this. I think that's gonna.
I mean, when you look at France, I mean. Collectively, they have. I mean, on paper, collectively they look really strong. I mean, going right from the keeping position of Lloris. When you look at defense, they have the pairing of I'm not sure Varane and Umtiti. I'm not sure about that, but
also.
Yeah, and then midfield also they have the likes of Pogba and Nzonzi, Matuidi, Kante up front as well. I mean, on paper they look really complete as a team, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're the most complete side that apart from maybe Spain and Germany and Brazil, of course. I think France, and the one thing of also it's their age. Like they're a really young squad, and I think this, even if they don't win this World Cup, they're gonna be really strong for the next one.
All right, so that's our 2 cents about France. I mean, really strong on paper, but. Also, there's lots of there's some question marks to be raised about maybe their team selection or maybe how they gel about. All right, so moving on from France, Denmark. Would you write them off, or they might be contenders from the group?
Denmark. They're certainly in the group. They're certainly I think the second best team.
I mean, Niklas Bentner is there.
Niklas Bentner is.
He's a top goal scorer for this edition for the team with 30 goals from 81 appearances. And then also Christian Eriksen. He's been the man carrying them forward all throughout the qualification round.
Exactly. Christian Eriksen he is the heart of this team. You know, without him, I don't think the rest of the players.
Yeah.
But then Denmark, I don't think they are the best, one of the dangerous teams in Europe, you know. But then they are very lucky to be drawn against Peru and Australia, who are themselves not really the most dangerous teams.
Yeah.
But talking about Australia, I feel that they have a chance in this group. You know, they might just spring an upset of Socceroos with the likes of Aaron Moy, and obviously you have the talisman, the Superman there, Tim Cahill. Yeah, Tim Cahill's going. What? He's 38 now?
He's 30. Yeah, 38.
38 years young now. But then Tim Cahill always has a goal. You know, he always has a goal in him. And Aaron Moy is the type of player that can create those chances. So he's
been scoring at each and every edition of the World Cup.
Yeah,
and he has 5 goals in the World Cups. You would tip him to score as well, and maybe perhaps give a bit of a fight to Denmark.
Yeah, one thing that's for sure that Australia and Denmark, they're going to really grind it out to see. I mean, to get through the group, you know.
Yeah.
But then Peru, I think.
Peru, you know that striker for Peru, Paulo Guerrero. He's been charged with using performance enhancement substances. I don't know if you read about that, but. He's going to miss this World Cup.
Oh, that's a big blow for Peru then.
So Peru, they maybe sniff out a chance or two, like Fafan.
Maybe we never know. But then I think plus the competition, it's in Europe. If it was in South America, I'd give him half a chance. But no chance in Russia.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the ballpark, there. Which teams would you favor?
France. I like to say Australia, but
Yeah, Denmark might be.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in Europe, you know.
It's
Keep that.
in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. But then the Socceroos, I don't want to bet against Socceroos. I'm gonna say France and Australia.
Oh wow.
Denmark to miss out slight, but
Maybe in goal difference, you think?
maybe. But then, yeah.
All right, so that's quite a statement. So France and Australia to move on from the group. All right, so without further ado, let's just move on then. The next group, what do we have?
Group D.
Group D.
Argentina, Iceland, Croatia, Nigeria.
Yeah. So, well, this group, for me personally, I really fancy Croatia. You know, they've always been touted as the underdogs. I mean, they made their first appearance in the World Cup in 1998, and in that World Cup, they really surprised everyone by moving on by beating the likes of Germany. They beat the heavyweights Germany, and they ran all up the way to the semi-finals of the World Cup. You might remember the name Davor Suko. He was the top goal scorer in that edition. So they'll be meeting Argentina, Iceland, and Nigeria. Argentina. What do you think of Argentina?
Well, first I'd like to add something about Croatia. I mean, with the talent they have in this squad, Luka Modric, I think they have the best midfield with Modric, Kovacic, and even Perisic there, and also with the striking option of Mandzukic. But then the problem for Croatia, I read yesterday that they have something's going on in the camp, you know, some sort of dissension there with. But then I don't know if that will play a part or not. But then I
mean, dissension between the players and the coach, or themselves, or
with the FA. I mean, with the football association in Croatia. But then like who gets bonuses, whatnot, you know, like all those. So like those local
internal issues.
Internal issues, yeah. But then I hope that doesn't affect the style of play. It shouldn't affect. These players are professionals. You know, they should know like when it's time to play. You know, it's time to play. But then if they keep it all together, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a really strong team in this edition of the World Cup. Yeah, talking about Argentina again.
Yeah, Argentina. I mean, leaving aside that heartbreaking 2014 World Cup, do you thought them to repeat that same? The same venture into this edition. I mean, going up all the way to the finals, or
in the last edition, they really shined. I think that was the best chance they could have won the World Cup. You know, looking at this team now, I don't really, especially the defense. I don't really know. You know, the
defense. They have the likes of. We don't.
Tagliafico. What's his
Mercado, Tagliafico.
Tagliafico. Yeah, like these players, they're not really, so to say, world class. With all due respect, you know.
Christian and Salvi.
Yeah, and if you look at the game
Fazio
against Spain, that the quality really shows. But then I feel that with it all depends on Lionel Messi, how he comes about this game. Both for Portugal and Argentina, I feel that they're stuck in the same predicament, that they're so highly depend on their talisman Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, that if those two, then they're not clicking, the whole team suffers. You know, more so Argentina than Portugal, I feel.
So Sergio Romero missing out, do you think that's a big blow, or it wouldn't make any tangible difference? You feel?
I think Romero has been the pillar, you know, behind the defense. But I feel that Willy Caballero he's an able goalkeeper, and maybe it's his time. I mean, but it all depends on Messi. You know, if he I know he's a striker, but then that defense, they feel way more comfortable with Lionel Messi. I mean, they get all the, you know, they feel confident, and they're able to play their football better. They're able to keep the ball better, you know.
Okay, so moving on to the group, we have people's team of the Euro 2016, that is Iceland. So Iceland, would they maybe, I don't know, Iceland, what really strikes me the most of Iceland is their fans.
Exactly.
I mean, their fans, I mean, looking at the 2016 World Cup, just the roaring of the fans, and and the way they motivated the players. I mean, it really. I mean, that played a factor in them doing well in that edition. Don't you think?
Just the opposite of Croatia in this group. They're really a solid unit, and one thing about Iceland, they're consistent. They top the group in qualification, which says a lot. I know everybody's writing off Iceland, but I feel like they can spring a surprise in this competition. You know, same goes for Nigeria. Nigeria also, they have a lot of talent, but then I don't think they have the consistency. Like if you look at their squad, you have the likes of
Iheanacho, Ahmed Musa, Jonah B. Mikel, what have you.
Yeah,
Alex Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi also. Yeah, but then if that team can really come together and click, you know, like they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And African teams, they've shown that they have no fear of playing. You know, they don't really care who they play. They're just happy. So they're just happy to be there. Yeah, and
engage
they play the heart out. You know, Nigeria forever. It's the Super Eagles. So yeah, the one to look out, Nigeria. I would like to touch on Argentina again. Like, I talk so much about Messi, but then I feel like I've not done the rest of the players. Like
I feel that
Higuain, Justice. Like, they've got so much attacking flair. Argentina.
Exactly. I mean, you would feel it's imbalanced when you think the amount of attacking options compared to the defense.
Exactly. And especially in this format, you know, like in a tournament format, you really need your defense. That's why I'm not putting them in that favorites to win it because of that defense. If the likes of Ayala and Juan Pablo Sorin and whoever was
Walter Samuel,
Walter Samuel, I would say that Argentina were the favorites because I wouldn't look at defense, I would look at their attacks. But then with the likes of these players, with all due respect, with these players that are playing now, I have to look at that defense and I have to think that they can't compete with the likes of Germany, Brazil, and Spain. This defense, but then the attack, they're, I think, barn.
I mean, to all the viewers here, keep in mind that we don't really we follow a bit of South American football, but we're not really La Roja fans. So regarding defenders, if you have any, I mean, this is just our opinion. If you have any if you have any opinions or views about yourself, saying that no, the defenders are top class in their own leagues, just leave your thoughts or comments into the section. Leave your thoughts into the comment section. All right. So that's about it for Group D.
Moving on.
Okay, so moving on from lest I forget, Argentina, qualifying, and would you tipped Croatia or Nigeria?
It's gonna be really
a bit of a tricky one.
I don't write off Iceland also.
Yeah, and Iceland too.
I'm going to say Argentina to win it, and a really close second place for Croatia.
Wow. So Iceland and Nigeria missing out from Group D. All right, then let's move on to Group E, which contains
the favorites:
Brazil, Costa Rica, Serbia, and Switzerland. Yeah, Brazil. We really harp on and on about Brazil, but I mean, five World Cups. That says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like in the previous edition of the World Cup in Rio, I think expectations were too much for them.
Exactly, yeah.
And in this tournament, maybe they don't have that so much expectations. I mean, the pressure will always be there, but then in Rio, you can just feel that the edge, you know, on the players' faces. You can just see. And when Neymar got injured, you know, like
Thiago Silva.
Yeah, the whole
mental framework.
It just completely shattered. So I feel in this tournament, Brazil will be loose. They'll be fluid, and you can really see the stars shine. I feel like if they're gonna win it, it's gonna be in this tournament, Brazil.
And the man to look out for obviously would be Neymar. Do you think looking at his goals ratio in 2014 World Cup, he scored five goals for them. Do you think he might be? I mean, his striking options are striking partners. Firmino and Gabriel Jesus. Do you think he might be the main attacking threat for them, or might he just see a provider for the likes of Jesus?
I think this World Cup it's structured for Jesus to shine. I think Gabriel Jesus will be the main talisman for Brazil. Yeah. I know Neymar, he's a superstar, but then I think the goals they're gonna come from Jesus, Also, Roberto Firmino, he's been banging in them goals. If Jesus, Neymar, and Firmino combined, they're gonna tear them defensive.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and let's not forget the entire balance of the team. They've got in the midfield Casemiro, Coutinho. You have Fernandinho, and Fred. Yeah, he's also one to look out for in this World Cup. Yeah, that midfield, it looks like a really solid, well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And even the defense with the likes of Miranda and
Thiago Silva. Do you think Thiago Silva still has that edge about him?
Yeah,
like he did in previous editions?
He has experience. Yeah, he brings in experience, but even if he's not playing, you have Miranda and Marquinhos also there. And you have Marcelo. Always a threat. I feel like in the last World Cup, Brazil, their fullbacks really got exposed. Daniel Alves and Marcelo, because they were bombing on so much that they forgot the defensive responsibilities, and the likes of Casemiro and Fernandinho weren't there to cover them. But then in this World Cup, I feel that even if the fullbacks bomb on, I feel that the midfield, their legs, they're capable enough to track back and fill in those spots left by the fullbacks.
Yeah.
So they're really strong squad here by Brazil in this World Cup.
Do you think they might they might defeat the ghost of 2014 possibly? Like you mentioned that the pressure it's a little bit lessened as compared to the home turf.
Well, that 7-1 thrashing is really I think that will really be there forever for them. But then I think these players, they're professional enough to not let that bother them so much. I have to prove a point. Like they'll take it in their stride, and I think they're gonna right the wrongs from 2014 and really put on a show for us in this World Cup.
Okay, so Brazil is joined by Costa Rica, Serbia, and Switzerland. So from these two, who would you? They're a bit of a wild card entry, so to say, but who would you tip?
In the last World Cup, Costa Rica managed to win the group, despite having Spain in that group. Yeah. And Serbia, they have the likes of Tadic, Matic, Kolarov. They have a solid defense, Serbia. I don't know whether they can bang in the goals. Same goes for Switzerland. So. And Costa Rica, I don't know. I don't know much about Costa Rica, but based on what I've seen in the last World Cup,
Brian Ruiz, Oviedo,
they might just bring a surprise. It's a really tricky one. This group, but then there has to be a second team. So I think I'm gonna go with Serbia.
Serbia.
Yeah,
are you putting that European factor into consideration, or just
Yeah, I think Serbia and Switzerland they'll be up there, but then Serbia, I think they're gonna edge out.
So it's going to be a close second for.
Yeah, check out Switzerland. Like who do they have there?
Switzerland. They have Embolo, Fernandez, Zimali, Gelson Fernandez, Berami. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the season campaigners for Switzerland.
Okay, I forgot about those players. The moment I saw the squad, I think I'm gonna change my prediction. I think I'm gonna go Switzerland, Brazil and Switzerland.
All right, Brazil and Switzerland.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of experience there, especially in the back line.
Remember Ricardo Rodriguez as well. The left back for AC Milan.
Yeah.
So maybe Switzerland might just it's gonna be tight, won't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be really tight. Yeah, they got Shaw there, they got Johan Joru there, experienced player.
It's a bit of an aging squad, Switzerland, but
Granit Xhaka. Oh, how could I forget about Granit Xhaka? even though I'm not such a big fan of Granit Xhaka, I feel that for Switzerland, he's he really takes up that mantle of the midfielder general there. So
on Stephen Lichtstein. Oh.
Yeah, you got a lot of experience, Switzerland. Don't write him off
yet.
Yeah, kind of like Uruguay.
All right, so Brazil and Switzerland then. We have a change of heart. All right, then.
Serbia.
Let's just moving on to the next group. That is Group F. Germany.
Really came unprepared there with Switzerland. I didn't really look up the squad for this podcast.
South Korea and Sweden. Alright, so what do you make of this group, eh?
Germany, Well, Yakilo, I think, yeah, Germany, without Yakilo, I feel, even though they'll do well, but I don't think they won. I don't think they would have been able to win the last World Cup without Yakilo. Because Yakilo, he's the type of manager where he really, the players that he has, they have to work in his system. He is the boss, you know, like he really no nonsense, really efficient. You have that efficiency, and German teams have always been efficient, but with Yakilo it's into 10. And you know, the selection of yeah.
I mean, a lot have been said about Germany that, you know, they don't really rely on a singular player.
Exactly.
But just by their nickname itself, Die Mannschaft, which means the team, they work as, you know, a unit, don't you think?
And also that they've already won the previous World Cup. Germany never really play with never really play with pressure, you know, even though like they're top side, they're not like Brazil, like, you know, they have to perform this World Cup, they have to win it. They don't really go with that attitude. That's what I like about Germany, you know. They just go there, do their jobs, you know, like, you know, and they just like get results.
Sounds almost mechanical when you say
exactly. They're such a well built team, a very well oiled machine, you know, that they don't really have that much pressure. They know what to do. Each player, they know what to do. Yokilo has given them, it's like they've given him an assignment, completed that date, and everything will be fine. It's really an amazing thing. It's like Germany, and even though they're the players like, you know, Manuel Neuer, Kevin, Jerome Boateng, and Matt Hummels, they're showing their age. I feel like even in this season, they weren't really on song. You know, the form has been topsy-turvy, and they've dipped in a lot of games. But I feel that they have enough their experience to really carry them through into the finals, or, you know.
I mean, looking at the squad, I think Marco Reus, he would really seize this opportunity. I mean, having missed out on so many competitions through injuries, the Euros and both in the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Do you think he might fancy a bang?
Yeah, I feel that Marco Reus and Timo Werner, I feel that in this squad, with the addition of Timo Werner, he's really, Germany has the legs now, like that they've been missing in the previous World Cups. You know, like Timo Werner's a type of player, he can run beyond defenses. He has the legs, the pace, the trickery. Yeah. And so does Marco Reus. Whereas in the previous World Cups, it's always been Miroslav Klose and you know, a player like Mario Gomez, who are not really that mobile. You know,
or Thomas Holm.
Yeah, Muller has a big part to play in this team. I feel that Muller is the only player that, you know, like he links up the midfield and the strikers really well. So
in mind that Muller likes to score in World Cups. He has 10 already in 2000. He won the Golden Boot in 2010 edition and scored another 5 goals for them at 2014.
Yeah, he has a chance to break Miroslav Klose's record of 16 goals. 16 goals, yeah. So yeah, that's one to look out for. Yeah, but then all throughout Germany, I think it's a well balanced.
What about that? What about that midfield? You think it's also another well-oiled engine? Exactly. You have the likes of Toni Kroos, Khedira, Mesut Ozil.
It's a balance of youth and experience. I feel that the midfield is the core players are always there. Toni Kroos, Sami Khedira. Even though Sami Khedira, for you, like, he played decent for Juve. You know, like, he's not that standard player, that superstar, but then he fits. That's what I'm saying. He fits into Jogilo's system so well that he doesn't really need to be a superstar. You know, like, he just needs to do his assignment and everything will be fine. And you have the likes of Julian Draxler and one more player that for us to look out for, Leroy Sané. Had a tremendous season with City. Like, the pace. He's just a really fun player, just an electric player. I feel like he's gonna really give this already good Germany side that extra,
extra bite.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the technicality of Mesut Ozil. They have the pace of Leroy Sané. They have the finishing maybe of Marco Reus. They're all in out complete team. What do you think?
Yeah,
along with France. in terms of
The only
technicality.
maybe the only question I have for Germany is the fitness. Especially Manuel Neuer. Will he start? I don't. But then they have so many options with Mark Ter Stegen.
This again, he had a phenomenal
I
season.
would like to see Germany go with Mark Ter Stegen or Leno. Give Neuer a breather. Neuer has already won a World Cup. It's already proved he's the best ones. Why risk him? Maybe with the injury and with the playing time he lost, he might be a Achilles heel for them.
Yeah.
Go with this, and he had a tremendous season with Barcelona.
Yeah, I think that that wouldn't really go down with German purists. It's like Manuel Neuer.
Yeah.
Other than Manuel Neuer would be a sin for them in goal.
That's why.
So,
then I think Jogi Löw knows what he's doing, and I think he's gonna. Don't be surprised if he starts with Mark Ter Stegen for the first game.
Alright, so we talked a bit about Germany, obviously for this course.
Oh yeah, we almost forgot about the other three teams there.
So Mexico, they're one of those teams which.
Looking at apart from Germany, Mexico, Sweden, South Korea. When I look at Sweden and South Korea, I don't see goals there, especially with Zlatan not there, and South Korea, going up against Sweden and Mexico it's always going to be a tough ask for them. I think the second place is a fight between Mexico and Sweden, and I think Mexico just edge it because of the goals they possess. With Chicharito and Peralta. They are experienced campaigners also. Even the midfield, they are really like a workhorse midfield. They're gonna pressure the ball, gonna move the ball around, they're gonna sniff chances, and they're gonna take them. Whereas for Sweden, but then it's gonna be awkward for Mexico playing against Sweden, because Sweden normally line up with a 4-4-2 with two big front men, 6'2", 6'3". Of
interesting fact about Mexico for you: in all the World Cup editions they've played, they've made it past the group stage.
Exactly, that's also one thing to consider. Mexico, they're no pushovers. And it all depends on the first game. If the first game, I think it's Mexico versus Germany, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the fixtures here.
I think it should be. It's Mexico and Germany.
Yeah, Germany versus Mexico.
Yeah.
So if Mexico could just maybe come out of that game, maybe with just a
point.
Yeah, I won't say a point, but just a 2-1 scoreline, or maybe just a goal. So that they don't get a thrashing, maybe 5-0, 6-0. That's gonna really help them. The confidence. It all depends on the first game. It's gonna be interesting to look out for in this group.
Alright, so you would tip Germany and joined by Mexico.
Yeah, I think Germany's gonna win the World Cup. Oh, the group.
Bit of an early say right there. But
followed by a close margin. I mean, a close second by Mexico.
Alright. Okay, so that's that for Group F. Moving along now to Group G, which contains both our favorite teams. Come on, England! Well, and England are joined by Belgium, which in my book is another bottler, just like England, and the debutants Panama and dark horse Tunisia. Well, if England doesn't go out of this group, you got. That's just going to be a really embarrassing.
That's just really, if England don't get out of this group stage, I think they're gonna be so much deep water in the press. I think that they're not gonna want to come home. They're gonna stay in Russia for maybe more than a month. But then
all right, let's talk a bit about England. So manager Gareth Southgate, he's I would call it a bit of a two-way side. I mean, he's been lauded for this revolutionized team. He's been giving your youngsters a lot of chance, and he's been doing away with that, based on prestige of a player rather than based on performance. What do you think?
I think looking at the success that the England under 21s and 17 had, and Gareth Southgate has been a very successful manager managing the under 21s and so on. So I think he's bringing a lot of that philosophy into the senior team. As you earlier this year in India under the World Cup under 17s, England won that tournament. I think they're gonna go in with that mentality of the team, not really individuals. And as you can see with the team selections here, the Gareth Southgate has gone with players that he trusts, and he's gone with a lot of youth mixed with a bit of experience, so to say. And this is it's a building. I mean, it's not a really. He's building for the future.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not about this World Cup for England. I think that Gareth Southgate, his vision is for the next the future tournaments to come. So one thing to point out that that's different from the other editions of World Cup. England, they're not going into this tournament with a lot of expectations and pressure. Like they're gonna be without so much. They're gonna be with less without less pressure, and I think they're gonna play okay, but then I don't expect them to go past the knockout stages. They're gonna maybe exit this group second, but
so them reaching quarterfinals would be a huge.
Quarterfinals would be a overachievement for England. I know it's England, but then I feel that with this team.
Okay, looking at this team selection, obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the likes of Marcus Rashford, been giving the nod.
Jay Lings.
Yeah, Jay Lings as well.
Yeah.
So that signifies some sort of a revolutionary, don't you think?
Yeah. There's a lot of legs there, a lot of space in that team. But then it's not a lot of creativity, especially in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I mean,
Eric
midfield would
Dyer
be.
and Jordan Henderson, I feel. I
think
think they could have done with Lallana in there, but then he's opted for Danny Welbeck and Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Welbeck, man.
Yeah.
What about that defense? You think it's a bit of I don't know. Who do you think would be the centre back pairings?
Maybe he's going to start looking at this last game. It's going to be interesting in this game because later on England are going to play Nigeria. It's going to be interesting. The system that they play, because Gareth Southgate has been favouring the three at the back with Kyle Walker, John Stones, and maybe Phil Jones or
Phil Jones.
Yeah,
come on, Aston United fan Phil Jones.
I know there's a lot of doubts, and I'm the biggest Phil Jones critique, But then for England, I don't think he's gonna start, but then I think he's gonna go with that three of Stones, maybe Maguire or Cahill and Walker.
Ashley Young, which you think might be?
Ashley Young is Ashley Young, and with the way the three is set up, they're gonna be two fullbacks of Kieran Trippier and Ashley Young, and maybe or maybe Danny Rose. It remains to be seen, It remains to be seen. But I don't think he's gonna go with the four at the back. I think he's gonna go with three at the back with two fullbacks bumming on.
And the man between the posts, which has always been a thorn in England's flesh.
Yes.
I mean,
looking at these three goalkeepers, Jack Butland.
I think you'd favour
Jordan
Jack
Pickford.
Butland getting given a nod ahead of Pickford. What do you reckon?
Jordan Pickford, he's really talented. He's one of the best young talents that goalkeepers that England has currently produced over the past 10 years. But then
inconsistencies.
he's been
always
very inconsistent this season. And Jack Butland, he's proven that he can be that man, but for Stoke he's let in so many goals, and he also has not as talented as Jordan Pickford. And Nick Pope, obviously for Burnley, played really well, overachieved, so to say. But then that experience, he lacks that experience. So it's going to be a toss up there between the three. But I think that Jack Butland maybe. Just
play. Minutes left group stage through. Alright, so sorry about that. Belgium. Would you fancy Belgium to maybe, I don't know.
I think apart from France and Spain, obviously, I think Belgium has the most talented side all throughout. If you look from the back line or from the defense, the goalkeepers, strikers, midfield. I think apart from France, Belgium, they're the most
And most of these players they play in the Premier League.
Exactly.
So
12
likes of
the
Lloris
23
and
players.
Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne. I mean, there's a lot of talents in there, isn't it?
Exactly. I think this is the time where if it's not now, then it's never, so to say, for Belgium. But then with the manager Roberto Martinez, I have a lot of question marks about the manager. You know.
Yeah, I mean that 9 goal issue.
It's especially with the 9 goal issue. Raja 9 goal left out of the squad. It really came as a shock to me, you know, and Carrasco getting it not. Well, these are the things.
Carrasco and this guy, right? Axel Witsel.
Axel Witsel, not a surprise, but then Carrasco was definitely a surprise, and obviously 9 goal left out. But then it remains to be seen how this team will gel. You know, under Roberto Martinez, I feel that most of the managers they don't really trust Roberto Martinez that much. But then, they have so much quality there that, you know, they can on the pitch, it's no issues for them. The likes of Vincent Kompany, such a great leader, Vertonghen, Kevin De Bruyne. I think Belgium
It's massive.
I think they're gonna go far, despite what happened during the last tournament. You know, that they bottled and didn't qualify the knockout stages. I think in this edition, I think they have that experience from the previous tournaments to progress throughout the knockout stages as well.
Panama and Tunisia, you would not fancy them to get a single point. No?
I don't think so. Maybe against England, I don't know. you can always skip.
Always the cynic.
You never know. Panama, you know, they might play that three in the midfield and play 1-2s around Jordan Henderson and Eric Dyer. You know, the little South Americans, you know, fast, pacey. You never know. You know? But then, I think Tunisia.
Alright, so I guess the only question remains is who would top the group?
Belgium for sure.
Belgium?
No doubt.
Yeah. Right, so Belgium and England to get out of that group, provided England doesn't do any hiccups or bonds.
But I won't be surprised if England doesn't qualify from this group.
Alright then, so let's move on to the last group of this of the World Cup. This is Group H.
Yeah.
This group doesn't have, if you notice, doesn't have any World Cup winners in any of this. If any of these teams are not World Cup winners, bit of a maverick, but also there's room for lots of competition to be going on here. So we have Colombia, Japan, Poland, and Senegal. So I guess it's a question of who would. Looks really tight, doesn't it? When you look at these teams, you can't really predict who would win. Who would really top the group. Look at Poland, experienced campaigners, but
I would like to start off first with Senegal.
Senegal.
The first time I saw Senegal in the World Cup was in 2002 against France.
I remember
they shocked the whole world, beating France. You know,
Papa Bouba
Diop. How'd you do?
How'd you do? He was he crossed. Papa Bouba Diop scored.
Oh yeah,
He was assisted by Diouf. There's a little bit of mix up between Barthez.
And African teams, I don't know, they just have this crazy mental strength, you know, and really physical. That's why Germany also, they always have a problem facing African oppositions, you know, because they're very physical, you know. They do that mentality that they don't fear anyone. So and especially with Senegal, with the likes of Mane and who else is there?
They have
they've got a lot of pace and
Mbaye Niang.
Yeah, Mbaye Niang. Yeah, they've got a lot of pace in that squad. It's really
Moussa Sow.
Yeah, Moussa Sow. Yeah, they have a lot of attacking threat there in that squad. So don't write off Senegal just yet. They can pull up an upset. But then the favorites clearly Poland and Colombia.
Talking a bit about Senegal again. You mentioned about pace. African teams, they've always been favored to have speed. Why is that so? It's a style of play.
It's they're.
I'm not making any racist jokes here, but it's always been said that Nigeria is.
They because of their physique, you know, like the way the biomechanics, you know, like they're strong and pacey, you know, athletes. African athletes have always had that. It's just that the technical and the tactical aspect of the game that they're lacking. But then they're for all African teams have always have
physical attributes.
Physical attributes.
So, along with Senegal, Poland. What do you make of Poland?
Yeah, Poland. I think Poland has. They have a really good chance of making out of this
Poland.
group as the leaders. I mean the winners. They've got a mixture of. They have really some really experienced players here with Robert Lewandowski and Bashikowski.
Milik is there as well.
Milik is there as well. Yeah, he's been doing good for Napoli. Yeah, and the defense you have Jink. What's his name?
Jink?
Oh,
Glick.
Glick. Yeah, sorry. Jink. Yeah. So yeah, they got a solid. I think they got a solid defense. An okay midfield like.
Kurzawa.
Yeah, not Kurzawa.
Oh, it's a different Kurzawa.
Yeah.
Kurzowiak. Yeah.
Kurzowiak, yeah, he's a defensive midfielder, and yeah, up front, Robert Lewandowski, Milik. Yeah, they could. I think they have a good chance of progressing.
And as much as we love the Blue Samurai, we wouldn't favor them too.
Yeah, Japan. I think in this World Cup, I don't see them going through. But I think they're past their prime in Japan. Like
Hiroshi Nakata.
Yeah.
Nakamura.
Yeah. Okazaki and all. I think they're past their prime, and I don't see them as a threat. But Colombia, on the other hand, I think this World Cup it's probably the best chance of them progressing into the later rounds, because I think the last World Cup they were a bit inexperienced, so to say.
Yeah.
But then in this World Cup, with the coming of age of James Rodriguez, played incredible football for Bayern.
And Falcao has had a revitalizing season after
after a lot of injuries. Radamel Falcao he's looking at his former self a bit, and you always have the likes of Luis Morial also as a backup striker. He did well. Carlos Bacca is there. I feel.
Carlos Bacca is there as well.
And even Zapata and all those players, they have a really good attacking threat. Colombia, and even the defense also with Defension Sanchez and what's his name? I forgot. Zapata, even the Christian Zapata. Yeah, I feel it's the balance of the team for this edition of the World Cup is just right, and I feel that them along with Poland are going to go through.
So Colombia and Poland.
Yeah.
Who do you feel to top?
I don't know in which order, but then Colombia and Poland. I think Colombia is going to win it, followed by Poland.
Alright, so no Blue Samurai and no Senegal.
Senegal, yeah. Unfortunately, although I'll be rooting for Senegal to get out of the group stage, but I don't think with the.
Yeah. Alright, so that was a bit of a lengthy dissection that we have of these teams in the group stages.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take note of these teams which will have progressed beyond the group stages and into the knockout phase, and stay tuned for the next episode. We're gonna talk a little bit about the round 16 and subsequently onto the quarters and semis and the big question mark, the final as well. So I hope you enjoy. We hope you've enjoyed this this fourth episode of the Represent Show, where we're talking about giving our 2 cents about the 2018 FIFA World Cup. So tune in next time to hear about the round of 16, as well as the quarterfinals, the semis, and the big question mark, the finals as well. Alright, so please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.
Come on, England.